Have you ever sat down to write a social post, an email, or a blog post and think, what do I even say? Well, after today, you're no longer going to have that problem. Every business owner faces it. And consistency is hard when you're starting from scratch every single week. Most business owners fall into two traps when inconsistency hits. They either fall into the sales trap, which means every time that they go to post something, they just are selling something. And that's not good because that doesn't help build an authentic relationship and bond with your customers. Or they fall into the randoms trap, which means that you're just kind of posting whenever you feel like it and whatever kind of strikes you in the moment, which also isn't good because then it doesn't help with the algorithm or it doesn't help with the brand building that you're trying to build, and it doesn't help people understand who you really are. There's a better way, and it's called content pillars. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to build yours. So no more blank screens, no more guessing, no more I'll do this tomorrow. Just a clear, confident content plan ready to move forward. All right, let's go. Okay, so first, as a local business owner, you have a huge advantage. Customers come to you face to face. You have built-in traffic, which means that you're able to build trust and convert faster. This is a huge advantage because I come from the world of digital marketing and online business, and companies would kill to have the data and the observations and the opportunity that you have as a local business owner to be able to get that kind of in-person interaction that you are able to get. You're able to understand and observe the person in real life. There are so many different nuances that you can grasp when somebody is in person with you. What's their behavior like? What's their body language like? What's their tone of voice? There's just so many different nuances that you can grasp while they're interacting with you. So there's a lot of opportunity for you. Don't waste it when you get to interact with somebody, and make sure that you are observing and actually documenting this data. And try and keep a journal and write down the interactions that you're having with people. What are the words that are coming out of their mouth? It's like from a movie. But anyway, you want to write down your observations. You want to write down the words that they're saying. You write down the words of how they're describing your store, how they're describing the products, how they're describing how things are making them feel, because that is excellent marketing material. You get to know your customers personally. So get to use that to your advantage. And that hiker sheet that you did on day one, we're going to be bringing that right back up today. So what are content pillars and why do you need them? Content pillars are 3 to 5 core themes that every piece of your email marketing will rotate through. Not just email marketing though, this accelerator is enhanced, and we're going to be integrating social media posts and blog posts because we want to be showing up in those AI search results. We want to be showing up everywhere, basically. So these 3 to 5 core themes will be integrated into all of those. We want to be showing up both in your outreach and in your inbound marketing. So instead of wandering in a new direction every week, you're going to be knowing what to write. You're going to be knowing every topic, and your content pillars will give you a clear roadmap on what to write, what to say, how to position everything, and it's going to give you a repeat system to follow every single day, which is pretty awesome. You'll never run out of ideas again. Doesn't that feel good? I think it does. All right, so content pillars. So just as a visual, that's what I mean by pillars. They are these different silos of information that we're building. We have inspiration, education, behind the scenes, community, and solutions. Are these the end all be all of pillars of the different lanes of content that you can create? Absolutely not. If you already have done content pillar exercises in the past and you already have some created that you absolutely love, then use them. You can replace and mix and match from what I'm teaching you. This is completely flexible based on you and your brand and your personality. But if you are starting from scratch and you don't know where to begin, then these are 5 content pillars that I think would be excellent. I even say 3 to 5. So if you're just starting out and 5 feels a lot, then start with 3 and try to build up to 5. Now, I like the number 5 because it makes the 80-20 rule really easy. The magic formula for marketing in the Trailforge world in our methodology is to give 80% value, 20% promotion. That makes the math really easy because for every 5 emails I send, 4 of them will be value, and then 1 of them are going to be my sales email. It just makes everything a little bit more simpler math in my head. So that's why I like to have 5 content pillars, because one of those pillars for me will be focused on solutions, which is that sales. And the other 4 I can focus on being non-sales content pillars, and it can be that value-driven content. So that's why I like the number 5 and why I encourage you to work up to that number eventually. So if you're doing 80% promotion, 20% value with your marketing, or maybe even 100% sales, let's take a step back and reevaluate what you're exactly talking about in your marketing, because that could be a reason why you're hearing crickets all the time. So when you lead with this amount of value, it builds trust. And that's what I want for you. Within the Trailforge philosophy, we focus a lot on building relationships through storytelling and trying to build authentic communication through human interaction the best we can through email and social media, copywriting, and all of that. We want to be authentic in our communication. And this is a human being on the other side of that email address, on the other side of that social channel. So we want to honor that. And this 80% value, 20% promotion ratio makes that super easy if we can continue to keep that ratio in the back of our mind. And it just helps. It just helps with the balance. All right, let's go through these different kinds of content pillars and what they mean. I'm going to go through different examples for different types of niches. So sit tight on the examples. I'm going to go through examples at the end. All right, inspiration. These are motivational stories, mindset shifts, the you can do it energy. Why this matters as a content pillar is that it helps keep your audience emotionally connected and hopeful. An example of this could be why you're closer than you think to this specific goal. And the key question to ask yourself as you're creating this content for this pillar is, what does my customer need to hear today to feel hopeful and motivated? Try to not think generic here. Try to think for your specific niche. Okay, that's the key aspect here. Is it's very easy to Google motivational quotes and not have it have anything to do with your niche. So if you're a landscaping company, try and think about, what does my customer need to hear today to feel hopeful and motivated about their dream backyard? All right. Education is the next pillar. How-to guides, tips, tutorials, industry insights. This is gold for social media as well, but also these work extremely well for newsletter content. Why it matters is it positions you as the expert and it helps build trust. Education is one of the most powerful content pillars you could possibly build. So if you are not already building an educational content pillar, you should be starting that ASAP. An example would be a step-by-step guide to solve a specific problem. Again, make sure obviously it's in your niche, and the more specific and nuanced you can get, the better. If you're having trouble knowing what to write about, try and think about the most recent problems that you've solved for your clients and start there. That can be one of the easiest things. The key question to ask yourself for this content pillar: what does my customer need to know that I can teach them right now? The more current you can get, the more viral your content can be. Behind the scenes content, so your story, lessons learned, vulnerable moments, day in the life. People love that stuff. People love the behind the scenes and hearing that you are human too. And why this matters is that it humanizes your brand and it creates an authentic connection. An example could be the day I almost quit and what changed everything. People like to hear and know that they are buying from people. People buy from people. People do not buy from companies. Okay. They want to know that they can trust you, and the more human and relatable that you are, the more likely they are to come back and to recommend you to others. So lessons learned and vulnerable moments in day in the life is great. Now, also, what could be fun is if you are in the transformation business, like let's say you are a junk removal company. What could be fun behind the scenes is how you've cleaned up a recent project. That might also blend in a little bit with the solutions part of your company. So those lines can be a little blurry as far as behind the scenes versus solutions. So I'll leave that up to you. Sometimes the lines can get blurred between the different content pillars, but don't overthink it. The most important thing is that you're getting content out consistently. And if the content pillars blur lines a little bit here and there, that's okay. It's just important that you're consistent with your content sharing. The key question to ask yourself: what would my customer love to see that they don't normally get to see? Having people, when they get a VIP access or exclusive look in behind the scenes, it makes them feel special, and it makes them like you more. And it's important to be liked. Community is another pillar that can be powerful for your brand. Customer spotlights, success stories, testimonials, Q&A from your audience, bring them along for the ride in the journey. And again, Trail Forge is about the people. It's about your people. They are the ones that should be at the center of everything. Your customers should be at the center of everything. Trail Forge is about forging the customer journey, the trail for your customer. So make your company about them. That is one thing that I will consistently bring up over and over again. You want to build a company that is focused around the people that are bringing the money in for your company, your customers. So showcase them, highlight their success stories, have a community spotlight, give a shout out, or have a fun competition with your followers. There are fun ways to involve your community, but why it matters is that social proof makes customers feel seen and celebrated, and it also builds trust. So when other people see other people vouch for your company, and they see that, okay, other people have trusted this company, they have said positive things about it, it helps build trust. The key question to ask yourself here is, whose story can I celebrate this week that would make my other customers feel seen? Solutions is basically the selling pillar. Product recommendation, tool reviews, resources, offers. This is where you can kind of talk about your company, your solutions, what you can do to make other people's lives, your customers' lives easier, better. What do you do in your company? What problems do you solve? This is your 20% where you make the sales and provide solutions. This is the tool that changed my business, and the honest review behind it could be an example of that. So the key question you ask yourself here is, what solution can I offer this week that genuinely helps my customer? All right, I promised some examples for different niches. So here's an example for a flower shop. An inspiration example could be brighten someone's day, how flowers can lift your mood instantly. Could be, now these are email or social media examples. Education, 5 tips to keep your flowers fresh over a week. Notice how nothing to do with selling there. It's just 5 tips to keep your flowers fresh over a week. Behind the scenes, a day in the life of a florist, from sourcing to arranging. That sounds interesting. I'm curious about that. Community, customer spotlight, how Mary used our bouquet for her wedding. Nice. So that's kind of curious too. Like how else would you use a bouquet outside of just holding it down the aisle? Solutions, this month's best-selling bouquets. That's a tongue twister. Order now before they're gone. Love it. Example, real estate. Inspiration, why your dream home might be closer than you think. Education, step-by-step guide to buying your first home. Behind the scenes, a day in the life of a real estate agent, from showings to closings. Community, client spotlight how the Johnsons found their perfect home in 30 days. Solutions, top 3 tools we use to make home buying stress-free for our clients. Good. So, example, salon, hair salon. Inspiration, transform your look, transform your confidence. Real stories from our clients. I can imagine that just being like a swiping reel, blinking on the carousel. Education, 5 tips to make your hair color last longer between appointments. Interested in that? Behind the scenes, a day in the salon, from morning prep to finishing touches. Community, client spotlight, see how Jessica's makeover boosted her self-confidence. Solutions, our top 3 professional hair products that keep your style flawless at home. All right, next example, a bagel shop. Inspiration, start your day right, how a fresh bagel can brighten your morning. Education, secret to making your bagels taste bakery fresh at home. Behind the scenes, from dough to delicious, a day in our bagel kitchen. Community, customer spotlight, how Tom's morning bagel ritual keeps him fueled. Solutions, try our new bagel combo packs, perfect for busy mornings or office orders. This is the last example, animal shelter for a nonprofit. Inspiration, from stray to family member, Max's journey to finding a loving home. Education, 5 tips for introducing a new pet to your home safely. Behind the scenes, a day in the life at the shelter, feeding, cuddles, and adoption prep. Community, volunteer spotlight, how Jane's weekly visit help our animals thrive. Solutions, check our adoption specials this month, bring a furry friend home. Okay, and this is the final message that I'll leave you with. Your marketing should speak to an individual every time. So at the end of the day, I want you to take your hiker sheet and I want you to make sure that you are using that as an anchor for all of your content development and your messaging, and making sure that that is aligned to whatever content pillars that you have decided to move forward with. And also utilize the Trailforge AI tools that are provided for you, because that is going to make all of your content development much, much easier and faster to create. So take advantage of the tools that are provided for you and you're going to do great and everything will be so much easier for you. I have a downloadable guide that goes through step by step everything I just covered if you are a paper and pencil kind of person. And also the AI tools, again, will help you so much. So enjoy this part, have fun with it, be creative, and enjoy developing your content pillars. It's going to allow you to have every day be so much easier with the content development. See you in the next video.